Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my channel, Mr. Budgets. I'm back like cooked crack. And yeah, I just wanted to come on here just to clear a few things up from the previous video. I might have said some things that I really didn't mean. Or you know, this whole thing is kind of weird because, you know, one day you might feel a certain kind of way, but then the next minute you might feel totally different. And that's pretty much what this is, an update to the update. But before we get into it, let's talk about this shirt that I got on. Let's talk about, you know, how I'm stepping, my fresh, my flyness and all that. I got this shirt from Goodwill. This was a Goodwill purchase, so in case you see any stains, if the camera picks up any stains, I know there's probably stains under the arms, or, you know, if you're seeing that this button here isn't buttoned, is from Goodwill. So I'm trying to, you know, piece a few things together, look nice, you know, actually look like a teacher. So yeah, this is my teacher fit right here. But yeah, all right, so other than that, let's see. So yesterday in the previous video, I talked about, you know, what we do in the classroom. I talked about, let's see, I think I said we only do work 60% of the class time. Let me clear that up. That might go the wrong way, because, you know, if somebody says, hey, yeah, we only do work in the classroom 60% of the time, what do y'all do the other 40% of the time? And, you know, you might just think that we're just chilling, macking, hanging, doing our thing. But yeah, we're actually, you know, doing stuff. We're actually engaged. Well, I don't know about engaged because I told you that I'm trying to work on my engagement, but yeah. All right, so let me tell you about my class flow. All right, so cool. Class periods are about 45 to 50 minutes each. I have 4 health classes, I have 2 PE classes, but I'm not really worried about the PE classes today. We're more so focused on the health classes right now. All right, so my health classes, all right, 45, 50 minutes to teach. So the first 10 minutes, they're used for getting students into the classroom, getting them settled down. I usually open up with a ticket in the door. That's pretty much just something to get the wheels turning, get their mind thinking on the lesson that we're. Actually, let me run that back. All right, so the bell rings, the students come into the classroom. I give everybody a warm welcome to the classroom, ask everybody how their day's gone, how everything's going so far. Hopefully, you know, just lift the spirits up a little bit if they've been deflated a little bit. All right, so yeah, welcome everybody in. First off, I let everybody know what we're gonna do for the day, the game plan. I let them know what they're gonna be doing for the next 45, 50 minutes. All right, so I'll run it down. First, I'll go over the standard, whatever standard we're going over, whatever standard I'm teaching from. For health, there's either 7 or 8 standards, and you pretty much just create your lesson plan from those standards. So I'll let them know what the standard is, let them know the learning target. The learning target is pretty much what they can expect to learn for that day. The learning objective, the goal for that day. So usually I'll put it in a question form, and, you know, just something that they may or may not know already, or they may know some things, but I'm here to fill their knowledge on the topic of the subject. They got the standard, they got the learning target, and pretty much the rest is just what they're doing. The opening, how I'm going to open it. Usually I like to open up with a PowerPoint. Then we get into the work session. That's pretty much them doing work. And then there's time for the closing. How are you going to end the class? How are you going to wrap it up? How are you going to end the day? For a closing, I usually like to do a summary. Summarize what they've learned today. Just a little paragraph, if that. It's so hard to get these kids to write a paragraph. It's crazy. All right, so that's pretty much the opening. You know, as soon as the bell rings, I go through that whole spiel, let them know what they're doing, go over the standard, learning target, opening, work session, closing. Boom. All right, so after I go over what they're gonna be doing, I tell them, all right, cool. Go ahead and get started with your ticket in the door. Go ahead and get started with your writing. Go ahead and get started with your think piece. Okay, so as they're working on their ticket in the door, I'll give them about a good 5-10 minutes. Pretty much I'll give them about a good 10 minutes to do that. As they're working on that, I'll go back to my desk, make sure everybody's accounted for, go ahead and take roll. And yeah, pretty much during that time, during that 10 minutes, I'm getting my thoughts together. I'm getting, you know, my actual lesson together, what I'm about to say, how I'm gonna open it up. Because you can't come weak. You cannot start your lesson out weak, or else you'll just lose people during the first couple minutes that you're speaking. So, you know, you want to start something strong, or, you know, just come on with full force. And yeah, that's pretty much how I get started. All right, so after that 10 minutes, after they turn in their tickets in the door, if you haven't turned it in, I'll go ahead and let you work through it throughout the presentation. But, you know, after that first 10 minutes, sometimes I might take an extra couple minutes, an extra 2 minutes, extra 5 minutes, depending on if they're actually working on it. Because during that time, during the time they're working on their ticket in the door, they're also talking. They're also mingling amongst themselves. And it really doesn't bother me that they talk during, you know, while they do their work. As long as they do their work. As long as they do their work, as long as they turn everything in, that's all I really, you know, care about. You can go ahead and talk, you know, all you want, as long as I'm not at the in front of the classroom talking. It's all good with me. You can talk any other time, except for the time where I'm talking, because that's totally disrespectful, right? So boom. Usually I like to start off the opening with a review from what we did for the previous day, or if it's something that we've been, you know, working on for like a couple days, I like to just go ahead and run it back a couple days just to make sure everybody's on track, make sure everybody gets it, because some students might have been absent, might have just missed the whole lesson. So I just like to, you know, just run through the whole thing, just boom, 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 boom. You know, just to, you know, jog their memory. So, you know, then we'll get into today's lesson. You know, all right, so today we're talking about this, that, and the third. So today we're talking about advertising and marketing and advertisement strategies, and how that affects our health. How does that affect our daily decisions that we make? You know, how do companies make us spend more money by, you know, these strategies that they use? So that's what we pretty much talked about today. And it's different for the opening. Sometimes I do a PowerPoint, sometimes we'll just have a class discussion. Sometimes, you know, well, as for example, for today, we had an interactive video. It's called Nearpod. If any of you are familiar with it, Nearpod is a great resource for teachers. It has videos, interactive videos for all kind of subjects. All right, so this was just like a 5-minute video. You can't play anything too long for these kids, because these kids have an attention span of a mosquito. So you gotta have short videos. So this video was like 4 minutes, 5 minutes in length. So, you know, it's a video teaching about whatever subject it is. Today's video is about advertising and marketing strategies. Throughout points of the video, they stop the video and ask questions. And the cool thing about Nearpod, the kids can use their phone and type their answer, like, so the video will be playing on the screen on the front, so everybody can see it, and then it'll just stop and ask a question about what it just said, or, you know, it'll ask a question, or what do you think about this? How do you feel about this? What do you think is the most blah blah blah? And the kids are able to use their phone, because that's something that kids like to do. The kids like to stay on their phone all day, so yeah, they go ahead and type in their answer, A, B, C, or D, or if it's a what do you call those? Open-ended question. If it's an open-ended question, they type on their phone, and then everybody's answer shows up on the board. So then you can just go through, you know, pick out good answers, pick out, you know, and it just gives another topic of discussion with their answers, and it lets everybody participate. So, you know, we go through the Nearpod video. So that's part of the opening. The opening is probably supposed to be like probably 10-15 minutes. Okay. I love you too. All right, so after you go through the opening, you start to go through the work session. So the opening is pretty much the teaching part. Really, teachers only have to teach for about 10 to 15 minutes. They don't really want you to be long-winded, because they know kids have short attention spans, they'll fall asleep. The kids have an urge to talk, the kids want to be on their phone. So they pretty much want the teachers to keep it short, to 10 to 15 minute lessons at the front of the classroom teaching. Now, next they want you to get into the work session. I feel like the work session, they treat that as the most important part of the class. That's when the kids are actually doing stuff, they're actually engaged. They're either doing a worksheet, or they're doing something hands-on, or they're in a group doing something. That's pretty much what the administration they're looking for. They're looking for engagement during the work session. And during the work session, while the kids are doing their work, they're cool. I'm fine with them talking amongst each other, especially if it's a group project or a group assignment. Even if it's an individual assignment, they'll still talk no matter what. Well, that's some classes. Did I tell you guys about my first period? That's a story for another video. But yeah, the work session is when they actually do their assignment, and that's I guess that's the majority of the time. Let me see, the opening, let me see. All right, so the ticket in the door, the first 10 minutes, and then you got the opening session, next 10 to 15 minutes. That puts you at your 25 minutes into your class. Remember, this is only a 45 to 50 minute class. So next, the work session. The work session, I believe they say that should be about 20 minutes. So that's, let's see, 25, that's 40 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes for your work session. So that puts you at 35, 40. And then the closing that's just, you know, pretty much a summary of what they've done. How do you know that the kids actually learned something from the day? So a lot of teachers decide to do a ticket out the door. So that's pretty much like a summary. What did you learn today? Or you can ask them a question about something you know you went over, and that could be your closing for the day. During these observations, they like to come into our classroom at the beginning of the class period, and I feel like a lot of emphasis isn't placed on the closing. Pretty much most of the times your observation is over, you know, by the time it comes to the closing. So yeah, that's my class flow. That's how I run my daily class. That's how I run my lessons. And yeah, I just wanted to clear that up because, you know, I said we only do work 60% of the time. So I just wanted to clear that up. I mean, as a teacher, you're working full time. It's not like you have any downtime to just chill and relax and kick it and scroll Facebook or anything like that. Well, some teachers do. Sometimes when they're working on their ticket on the door, I'll scroll probably like 2 minutes or something like that. Especially if I have a good classroom where I know all the students are going to complete their work. So yeah, that's how I run my classroom, and yeah, I feel like I've said that already and I'm kind of being repetitive. As a teacher, you repeat the same things over and over and over and over and over again. So I guess that is becoming part of me. It's becoming a part of who I am. So yeah, that's going to be a wrap for this video. Bye guys.